First you take a rag, put it in the bag. Then you bend your back, put it in the sack. That's the way you start. It's a lot of fun. Cotton cake is written, papers in the bag.
Hello. Welcome back to the Brothers Bear podcast.
Podcast?
Oh, man. Do that one all over again, man.
Just go.
I'm too nervous, man. Fuck this shit, man. I'm not made for this. Too much pressure. This is an old man Schweddy here.
My name is Santos Medrano.
And I am Sanch. And we are here bringing you our anniversary special episode. It is a month, and it's actually episode 4. We've been doing this for a month, people, and it has been awesome. And I'm glad that, you know, we've been able to pull off 4 episodes, and we've been getting a lot of feedback, and it's just positive feedback what I've been hearing, and it's great. I mean, there's a little here and there. It was more so our volume. A few of us didn't sound loud.
Critique, folks, man. I understand loud and clear. I had to think about that myself too, hearing that stuff. So
yeah, we're just sitting here having fun, and we forget kind of at times, and we're just relaxed, sitting back, and it's not until we hear it that we're like, oh, maybe I should have kind of sat a little bit forward on the mic, but. Now we know, so it's awesome. So, again, like I said, this is episode 4, the month anniversary episode, the special PIXAR episode that we've been leading up to, that we've been talking about. Oh, and also I wanted to mention my older brother. Actually, he just texted us, and he said he's actually pulling up into the driveway, so he should be inside shortly. So, yeah. So, anyways, what were you saying?
It's funny because doing the Bridgetown podcast, I know we're kind of far sometimes too, and I don't know why. I'm like, well, I should know this already for the Brothers Bear podcast. I should kind of not that I learned my mistakes or anything like that. I mean, with Bridgetown, we're already at that point where we kind of we're more out of flow than I don't know. The show's different, so it's kind of like I feel like I'm starting from ground one, from the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
Right on. I just like how you guys can't see us, but we're all kind of leaning in onto the mic, and we look like we're freaking the Temptations or something. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom.
Nice gorilla shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. 2010 Coachella.
2010 Coachella.
Oh, watch out.
Or what?
Huh?
That's where you got it?
Yeah, that's where I got it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we're all wearing let's see, Carlos here has a Gorillas t-shirt. Schweddy over here has a shirt that says, I want to believe, and I myself am wearing a Birthday Massacre shirt. And we're just all, basically our own styles of what we are.
I thought it was just a bunny shirt, man. I thought you were a fan of bunnies.
Everybody always thinks that,
rabbit,
Yeah, it's it's a bunny that's bleeding, and but I'm like, it's a band shirt. It's a Birthday Massacre shirt.
Bleeding from its mouth, by the way.
Yes.
I wonder how that happened.
You know what? I'm actually going to take pictures of each of our shirts, and I'll do a little collage and post it so you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're wearing. But actually, I just want to, before we actually fully get into the podcast of the PIXAR, I want to give out a shout-out. So this is our shout-out section. All right, our shout-outs. First and foremost, we have an honorary mascot. Her name is Penny. Actually, yeah. If you have been on our page, our Facebook page of the Brothers Bear podcast page, and if you notice, there's a little baby that's taking a picture with a bunch of bears. She is our honorary mascot. And the thing is, that thing blew up. I was constantly getting notifications of likes and likes and likes. I was like, man, people love babies. Seriously, especially cute babies.
Stuffed bears, babies.
Seriously.
Everyone's only complimenting the bears and not the baby. You're like, get the baby out of the way. It's all about those bears.
They're like, move, let's Photoshop that baby out.
Photoshop a stuffed bear.
I know. But yeah, if you guys have any... if you guys have kids, babies, or anything like that, it'd be awesome. Have them take a picture with a bear or a shirt or costume in a bear costume. That'd be great. You could be our honorary mascot for the week. If not, Penny will be our mascot till, someone else posts a new one, and we'll always switch it off. We're fair. New babies is always a good thing. Like I said, that picture was awesome. She looked really cute, and that's one of my buddies that I knew from high school, and him and his wife, they took the picture, they posted that, and so I'm just giving a shout out to her. Name is Penny, and if you go to our wall, you'll see the picture that I'm talking about. And then next is want to give out a shout out to Kirby. He is one of the members of the Bridgetown podcast. He was the first one to create a meme, and he created a meme about me. And it's kind of like a dictionary definition, and I won't get into it because I'd rather you go to our page and check it out, but it's pretty funny. He had to do 3 corrections because he got wrong the story of Sanch. He thought Sanch was a mixture of Santos and Medrano. I'm like, you don't get Sanch like that. So he went back and fixed it a few times, and then at one point he said I sounded like Justin Bieber, but I'm like, no, I sound more like a cholo, like a child cholo, and so he fixed that up. So I think
he said that too on our episode when I don't remember what episode it was, but he brought that up. He's like, because I know Lewis is like, yeah, it's funny how your brother noticed his voice because I was gonna say the same thing.
But I think it was episode 5.
Was it last?
Yeah, it was the last episode.
Last week,
it was the last episode. So I mean, that was pretty funny. Another shout out goes to, actually this is for iTunes. It is the member Tommy the Cat 82. They left us a comment on our, saying, love the show, awesome show, saying that, they don't really dig comics, but they love Batman, and that they said good job to Carlos and Sanch. But the one thing that made me laugh was they said Schweddy is the next Tyler Perry. I have no idea what they mean by that.
What the fuck? I don't see enough Tyler Perry to even know what the hell that means.
I didn't even get that. I'm like, was he like, because Tyler Perry, he's a writer, he produced, directs his own stuff, he has plays, movies.
He's got one-liners though, maybe? Am I a one-line guy or what?
Maybe.
What the fuck is that, dude?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, that's awful.
Tommy the Cat 82, if you can, either comment again or go on our Facebook and explain why you said he's the next Tyler Perry.
I'm the Mexican Tyler Perry.
I mean, in a way, it's a compliment because Tyler Perry, like,
he's famous.
Yeah, he's famous and makes bank.
That guy shits movies left and right. He's like, how many Tyler Perrys in a year? 364.
That guy, I mean, you think about it, he captured on the Ernest phenomenon. Like, it's like, Medea goes to space, Medea goes to jail. Like, that was a real movie, but I mean, it's everything.
Medea
goes
scared stupid.
Medea goes to camp, Medea joins the army, goes back to school. Like, I mean, that was the one thing. Like, Napoleon Dynamite. Like, I feel bad for what's his name. No, it's not John Heater. That's the guy from.
Who cares?
Well, regardless, exactly. See, this guy, he's an idiot because he got typecast. Like, nobody cares. Everyone just hears, "Gosh, dude," like that's all you picture. It's like he should have went the Ernest route. It should have been Napoleon Dynamite, goes to, like to college. Napoleon Dynamite, goes to jail. Like, it should have been like an Ernest. Like, he should have capitalized. I guarantee you, I would have watched it. Napoleon Dynamite goes to camp. Like, I would have seen that. Like, that would have been the smartest move he should have done. But instead,
and then
nobody cares.
The fact that he did the cartoon, like, yeah, they got everybody, the whole cast, everybody was in for the cartoon. But just how many years it flew by, no one cared anymore. Yeah, some people love the show. I mean, the movie, and see it as like this, pop culture movie now. Like, it's a really good
cult classic.
I mean, cult classic. That was the word I was going for. Cult classic. But just the time frame of how long it took to make that cartoon from when the movie came out, when it was really at its biggest peak, to it. Yeah, it's there. The show got canceled right away because no one cared anymore.
Damn, that sucks.
And even the first season. Well, I don't even know how many episodes it did, but it got canceled right away because it didn't have a strong following. The way they assumed that the movie, the cartoon, their thoughts of it being like, oh, it's going to be big. The movie was big. This is going to be big, and sadly enough, that no one cared anymore.
Was the director involved in it?
I don't know that. I don't know, but I just know that everybody was in for it, though.
I think the director had a big influence
Damn.
in that movie, like as far as popularity.
Was it this year that the show came out?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie came out in 2004.
Same.
2004. Damn.
So that's why
Like, seriously? Like...
you do that long
So they got
frame.
the whole cast.
Yeah, they got the whole
years
everybody.
later. They're all super old and uninterested about the whole thing.
But yeah, it's, Sanch is right. Is that the fact? If they would have done, the Ernest route, yeah, I'm pretty sure they could have kept going. Merch could have been, coming out left and right. But the fact that they just kind of,
or even at most a sequel.
Yeah.
Like it. I get, like, there's certain actors, like, they just don't want to be typecast. Like, they don't want to get stuck as that role. But the thing is, it's like, if you are going to get typecast, like, capitalize on it. Because if not, no one's going to care, like the Fonz. He was like, that's all, no one wanted the Fonz after that, like, people, it's hard for people to break out of their, like, that role and then be seen as anything else. I mean, it happens a lot, but... like Janelle White, Urkel. Like, he tries, and his shows always get canceled.
Oh, he looks like an idiot, though, too.
And especially because he played himself on certain episodes where he was Stefan. Remember?
He played himself?
In a sense.
Stupid-ass ego. In a sense, I know, dude. That was so retarded.
It's like, if he would have stayed Urkel, and then he went off and did his own... Like, he never became that Stefan character.
Yeah.
He probably could have pulled it off, but every time I saw him out of, he was just himself... I was like, it's Stefan. He stepped in that machine. He's like, yo, what's up, Laura? When we get down and knock boots or whatever he says. I don't know. It's freaking stupid.
Same with that guy from Married with Children. That kid.
Oh, what is it?
Bud.
Bud Bundy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of him.
Grandmaster B. He raps.
Yeah.
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
I
haven't heard any of it, but yeah.
There's I think it's called Crackle.com. It was I think maybe 2 years ago, he released a web series where, like, you guys have heard of a show also called Parker Lewis Can't Lose?
No.
It was from Fox. Well, they got together and they did a web series, and it was kind of like, basically he's making fun of himself. Like, now he's like a struggling actor. He was a child actor, so he makes fun of himself. Like, he can't get work with his buddy who was also a child actor, And I watched, I think 2 episodes, and they actually had some celebrities, but it was kind of dumb. And the other thing that bugged me, too, was they used the music from Sunny. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. All the music.
Really?
Like, yeah, it was like all the music. And I was like, okay. I'm like, use new music.
Just ripped it up.
Yeah.
So, like, this show does good. Maybe we'll do good.
But what sucks is, like, the music that they use, it's what's it called when, like, it's in public form? I can't remember. It's kind of like the original Night of the Living Dead. Like, Romero doesn't even own that anymore. Like, it's open in public form. So I could take that movie and do anything with it, in the sense of, like, use it and edit it and put it in my phone. Yeah, like, I won't get in trouble because there's certain things that in the world, like, songs, music, movies, stuff that's in public form that it's not copyrighted where you don't have to see anybody and be like, you'll get in trouble for it, And that's what happened with the music. So that's why, like, I remember I went to, like, a Q&A and they mentioned that they have no control over the music. They just pick, we like this songs, but now anybody can use it. So it's like, great.
I've noticed that because the Sunny background music that they play during cuts or anything like that, I hear it in commercials or other TV shows now. I'm like, what the hell? But now I know why.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But, ladies and gentlemen, actually, no, that's it. That's time for, that's the end of our shout-outs. I always forget to end the shout-outs. We're done with the shout-outs. I mean,
how long did that go?
That was like 13 minutes.
Shout-outs to the world, man.
I was going to say one last note. The only people that got lucky a lot of actors have been typecast throughout the years or they get stuck typecast, getting stuck in roles. The only ones that were smart were all the Harry Potter kids.
Oh, they're doing a lot of other stuff now.
Yeah, because...
Daniel Radcliffe, yeah, because he could have gotten stuck, like, as Harry Potter. Oh, look, it's Harry Potter, but...
Like, they did some theater, right?
Yeah. So does Junk.
Yeah, he played, like, a kid who fucks horses or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But
Equus.
Awesome, dude.
Good rap for him. But what he did, like, all of them, they... Not to be stuck in, like, magic or wizard movies. They signed the contract that they wouldn't be stuck in another, like, wizard type movie. That if it would be anything like that, it would only be Harry Potter movies. So if another movie was going to do like Wizards or anything like that, kind of like how all the stupid Twilight movies spawned all these vampire lane movies that either one people have heard of or nobody heard of.
Yeah.
Like if Harry Potter would have done that, where they spawned like a whole new generation of like random wizard movies and witches and all that they wouldn't be cast or anything like that. So that's why they were like, this is the only type of wizard magic
shit you can do.
Yeah, with us. Other than that, we're only going to be in like a normal movie. So that was smart on their behalf, on all of them.
That's crazy.
Dude, they're rich, man. They never have to work again, but they are gonna work. You know, it's kind of like Frankie Muniz. You know, that kid. I don't know how the hell he pulled it off, but at 19 he retired and he just went into race car driving. And
He's a race car driver?
Yeah, he's a race car driver. But that show, Malcolm in the Middle,
dork.
Yeah, that kid somehow, like, he was able. That show made him so much money that he was able to retire at 19. Fuck. So he's like, the hell with that. I'm not gonna make movies. I'm gonna go race cars.
That kid was a douche in that movie. I mean, that show too.
He was a douche in real life too.
Yeah, he looks like him.
Yeah, the one thing that you know, his dad in the show, what's his name? Bryan Cranston. I remember though he does a show currently called Breaking Bad. You guys ever watch that?
I love that show.
And I thought at first it was a comedy when I first saw the trailer.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, because it's
he's
like
standing in his underwear. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. But when I started watching, I realized no. But I just recently just got into it.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, because like everybody was always, like, the ones that were really bugging me were Lewis and Robert, two of our friends. I've mentioned Lewis before. They always would bug me. The day they had the Lost finale, they came over, but they went into the room and watched Breaking Bad instead. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, and then they were like, I remember they'd said the episode was like whatever, but they were saying like it's 10 times better than Lost. And
everything they do and watch is 10 times better.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy, dude. Way ahead of us, man.
It's always, yeah. I mean, we're so Robert. I just remember the time when I can't remember. We all went to the. Were you there, Edgar? Or Schweddy. We went to the movies, and I remember it was Edwards, and we were trying to decide what to watch, and there was a certain movie we wanted to see, but Robert had seen it. And he's like, no, or either he's seen it or he heard about it saying that it sucks. And somehow,
that sounds familiar.
And somehow he talked. It was like, I think like about 6 us guys to see Cruel Intentions. So it's us, like, I think it was like about 6 of us in a theater where most of them were all girls, and we're all watching Cruel Intentions. We're like, really? Like, what the hell are we doing? Man. I remember I was so mad because I'm like,
oh yeah, no, actually, I'm lucky not to have been there.
You weren't there?
No, I wasn't, man.
Yeah, I was just like, really? Like, why the hell are we watching this? But I just remember the scene where he gets hit by a car at the end of the movie. I started laughing. I didn't care. I thought it was funny. I'm all yelling.
No, it was funny, man.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And
it caught me off guard.
Girls were like, I Robert says he saw, I think it was Danny Garcia crying. That's what he said at the party. He mentioned that. And I was like, really? I was like, I didn't see it. I was too busy laughing at him getting hit by a car.
Were we still in high school, or was that?
Yeah, we were in high school.
So that was like 2000, maybe? 99?
No, it had to be.
Cruel Intentions.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, that's a good movie.
I like how you guys are both like pretty much talking crap about the movie, and then I don't know. That's a good movie.
It's like, it's awesome. I'm trying to actually look it up right now on IMDb, but I'm not getting it.
Yeah, it was famous for that lesbian scene, right? Where they tongue each other.
Yeah, and then every other movie either made fun of it or tried to top it.
Oh, like it's 1999 movie. There we go, got it.
What movie would top that one? That sounds.
Damn, they got Cruel Intentions 2 and Cruel Intentions 3. What the?
When did those ones come out?
Part 2 came out in 2000 and Part 3 came out in 2004.
Thank you, IMDb.
Yeah, if you're ever curious, like, oh, what was that movie, and you know the actor, or you know the movie but you don't know the actor, or so on and so forth, IMDb, that is your best source. It's imdb.com. and it's the Internet Movie Database. I mean, you could find everything. And it's not just movies, television shows. If they did voice work on a cartoon or something, video game, it's all listed. Basically, once you're credited within, I think it's not SAG, but once you're just credited in anything, right away, you're on IMDb. So if you're ever curious, because I know it happens to all of us, we're always like, oh, who's that actor in that movie? You know, and you know the movie. That's it. You know, that's how I always look it up. You can find out the year, also quotes and trivia. So yeah, so that's all I want to say. So let's get into, you know, we're already 20 minutes in, so let's get into the most important part that people have been waiting in.
Pixar.
Is Pixar.
No, I can't do it. I was trying to do the Luxo. There we go. That sounded better than mine.
Yeah, I love that intro with the little lamp. That was like the first thing they did, right?
Luxo Jr.
Luxo Jr. Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny? Now that I think about it, before Toy Story came out, I saw that on PBS. I remember late at night, PBS would always show cool stuff. Remember Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah,
they would show it on PBS. You know, they would show Mr. Bean. Bean. PBS was actually pretty cool. I remember that's where I used to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. That thing was awesome. But I remember what was one night they were showing like some stuff, and out of nowhere I saw that computer animated Luxo Jr. and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. But I didn't think anything more of it. And it's not until now I realized, I'm like, holy crap, I saw it before Toy Story ever came out.
How long is that episode too? It's like a minute long or something.
It's like a short.
Yeah, it's super short. It's a super short.
I don't even know. It's probably like at most 3. I mean, think about it, like,
because it just kicks a ball around, right? And then that's it.
I think so. I can't even remember. I haven't seen it. Didn't you watch it because you watched all the shorts? Didn't you watch that?
Yeah, but I stopped paying attention. Like,
did you walk out of the room and go back like you did with the freaking Tintin?
Tried the same procedure. See if it works.
The animation was so old. They're like, nah, that's fake.
Like, that's so lame.
I mean, it makes me wonder how long it took them because, like, I remember.
Oh, seriously, that's the first question I.
Well, Pixar. I mean, Toy Story being the first film came out in 1995, and that took them about 4 years to make.
Yeah, they did all the recordings in was it 95?
No.
94, right?
No, the movie came. No, they did. They recorded everything first.
No, I know, but when they first started doing the recording and getting all the actors, which was actually late 80s when they first did everything.
Yeah, because they that's how they got Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks was famous then.
What are you talking about? He still is famous.
Da Vinci Code.
Okay, yeah, maybe. And was Lady Killers? Oh, terrible. You ever seen that one?
That was terrible. No,
that is horrible. Lady Killers. Oh my gosh, I think that's either the second movie in my history that I never finished watching. The first film was Ultraviolet. That's with Mila Jovovich, and I remember I loved her in The Fifth Element, and that was the first movie I never finished watching. And
the movie's awful.
Oh, it's horrible. It's so boring and stupid. And I never finished watching it. And I did a double feature. I rented Equilibrium, in which that one's awesome with Christian Bale.
Yeah,
that one's so great. Yeah, and then I was like, all right, pop in, Ultraviolet. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Never finished watching it. And then Lady Killers was the other one. Never finished watching that. 2 films. And Envy is. I think if you want a horrible movie to watch, actually no, don't watch this movie.
If you want to watch a movie that's boring and has it has a point, but it doesn't explain a lot at all. I know what movie you're about to say. Well, you did say it, but Envy had to be one of the even for me, had to be the one.
Never seen it.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, don't. Ben Stiller, Jack Black. All right, you think
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, you're like Jack Black, Ben Stiller, and then the whole premise was
Amy Poehler is one whose wife? Is it?
It's Jack Black.
Yeah.
That was a pretty recent movie, right?
2004 or 5, one or the other.
Recent. It was 05.
Oh yeah, 05.
See, but the thing was, it's like about that. I was gonna look it up on IMDb. No, the thing was, it's like the premise was like when I saw the commercials, it sounded awesome. Like it's Jack Black comes up with a like a contraption where it's like he pours it on poo. And it makes
Spray.
poo. Yeah, it's like a spray, and it makes poo disappear. Well, in the beginning, he has a bottle and he pours it, and he makes the poo disappear. Like, but before he does that, he tells Ben Stiller, "Hey, you want to come in on this?" Like, you know, and he's like, "No, you know, I don't want to." And so he backs out. So then Jack Black actually, you know, he gets a few of the neighbors, and they're in on it. Like I think like 2 others, and it works. The poo disappears, and Jack Black becomes like a huge billionaire and all this and that. And Ben Stiller basically becomes envious of his fortune.
Okay.
And you would think, oh, that's a good, you know, it's funny, you know, poo in a can. But,
It's called Vaporize.
Yeah, Vaporize. But that movie, man, no laughs. No laughs. Not one
Who
laugh.
was the dud?
All of them. The film was the dud.
You mean Christopher Walken's is in it?
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy scared me. Christopher Walken and clowns scare me.
Well, imagine Christopher Walken as a clown.
Oh,
Oh, man.
As it, dude.
That's one of the voices I wish I could master, is his voice. Wow, I'm Christopher Walken, and you're listening to the Brothers Bear Podcast. Whoa, I actually pulled it off. That was kind of
He
scary.
got famous because of that too.
Yeah.
Just because of how you can say things.
Well, he I think it's like an act. Who was it? I think it was John Lovitz on it was all the ABCs of SNL. It was a podcast that he did with Kevin Smith, and he mentions when he met him that oh no, he's actually like that. Never mind. That he is crazy. I don't know. I can't remember. I heard it, but yeah, he's just like he's nuts. He's like, wow. You know?
He's got a lot of lame duck movies. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that I'm like, Christopher Walken was really good at that.
Yeah, but everyone should thank him for that Fat Boy Slim video, though.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's great.
But he didn't say shit in that one.
He danced in that one.
Yeah.
That dancing was all he needed to do.
The one thing though, he was great.
She's gonna keep doing it.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do his voice. The one thing is Saturday Night Live. He was great every time he was on Saturday Night Live. Obviously the cowbell skit, but he was great before that episode aired. He was always on. That's the one thing. He was always great on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, you're right. The movies always been duds. I mean, I don't even
Sleepy
know.
Hollow.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow sucked, dude.
Yeah, just showed his teeth. Another one where he didn't talk.
Oh yeah, you didn't, huh? They name movies that Christopher Walken doesn't talk.
It's like, we need to give him roles that he won't talk, because if not, he's going to do that thing.
That thing, man.
I know he was in Click, but I actually like Click. Did you ever guys ever
Yeah,
see
Click.
Click?
Sounds
It's the one with Adam Sandler and he has a remote.
No, man.
Yeah, Christopher Walken's in there.
Yeah,
he
he's
gives
his
him
dad, right?
No, he gives him no, the Fonz. Going back to the beginning, the Fonz is in that movie. He plays his dad. That's actually that there's a scene in there that actually does make me like sad and tear up and cry. That actually is a dark movie. So that I'll probably hold that till later. I'll get into.
Yeah, it is dark, huh? Or somewhat. I mean,
It's
he's
comical,
just
but
stupid
it gets pretty dark towards the end. Like
Yeah,
it
it
gets
takes a
sad, man.
left turn, like out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I think that's what hurt the movie. Like I enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed it, but people expected it just to be funny. Like you watch the
No,
commercials.
people wanted a happy ending. That's what they wanted, and then
Well, it did end happy, but it got dark in between that point. Like it's pretty messed
Yeah, it was
up.
like a whole 20-minute darkness of like,
With the Fonz.
yeah, with the Fonz.
where he would have stayed in that one character that he wanted. Oh no, when he passed everything up.
Yeah, he
right?
fast forwards, and there's a scene where he goes to like he said his dad died, so he's like, when was the last time? So they do like he does a little flashback, like going back or in memory to see the last time he saw his father, and his father like comes and he's like, hey, you know, your mom's going out with the girls. Let's have a boys now, and his Adam Sandler's son is there. And he's like, yeah, let's go out. But, like, he's just like, not even, he's like, all right, yeah, whatever, Dad, I don't want it. And he's like, come on. You know what? How about the coin trick? Because throughout the whole movie, he's, like, talking about a coin trick. I'll show you the coin trick. And then that's when, like, the son, Adam Sandler, like, it's just, he's in autopilot. And he yells at him, like, he's like, Dad, I got a lot of work. He's like, and I know you've always had the coin in your hand. Like, he spoils the trick because he would always act like he was in on the magic trick. And he's just like... And then he just goes back to his autopilot working, and the dad like gets all sad, and then he just walks up to him, And I'll get all chills, dude. And he goes and he gives him a kiss. He says, I love you. And he walks away all sad. And then he dies shortly after that. And then Adam Sandler feels like, he's like, what the hell? And he's pissed off at himself. But like, it's just like, it's a dark, horrible, sad scene. I was like, what the hell? Like, I was like shocked at that scene. It made me sad. Like, I mean, right now explaining it, I got chills. Like, I wanted to cry myself.
Yeah.
And it was pretty dark. Like, I mean, more stuff happens, especially at the end when like, he's about to die and he's running, and they filmed it here in Baldwin Park at the hospital in the future. Yeah, they filmed Congo there, Starship Troopers they filmed there.
At Baldwin Park?
Yeah, the
Kaiser.
Kaiser, yeah, because it looks like it's a weird building, so it's like futuristic.
At
And,
that time in the 90s.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Starship Troopers 90s movie, it was like
Congo,
97.
Like, they actually been showing Congo a lot on TV. I was watching it, I was like, I remember liking this movie.
I still remember the sign, ugly, gorilla, go away.
We still quote that one line, the stop eating my sesame cake.
What are you doing in my country? You lying sack of shit. We're doing all this stuff and you guys can't even see it. What the hell?
Oh, man, that's funny.
We're animating all this. We're painting the picture.
I had that on VHS.
Congo?
Yeah. And we used to watch it at work like 2 years ago. Being like 3-4-year-old guys.
This movie's good.
They didn't understand why I was laughing so much. Like, this movie's sad, man. Why are you laughing? Oh, man. It's a good movie.
Pixar.
Yeah, I know. We're all a half hour in and we still
Back to
really
Pixar.
even. We've been talking about like Adam Sandler and Christopher Walken. Yeah, all right. Let's go back to Toy Story. Your thoughts on Toy Story?
I liked it. Two thumbs up, man.
Alright. Well, that's Schweddy's review. That's the end of our episode. Good night. Oh my god.
I like Toy. I mean, of course. I mean, Toy Story came out. What? I forgot the year again.
95.
95. I was a kid. Well, I was 4.
Well, of course you were a kid.
No, I know that, but these people don't know me. They're like, whoa.
Yeah, true.
They don't know how old I am.
50.
But around 95, I was in elementary, and that movie blew up, of course, for all of us. I mean, that was one of the biggest, first actually CG movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's when CG took off.
Yeah.
Like in all these movies, they just try to incorporate that fully.
Yeah.
You got a big split between the crowds too. Like people fucking hated that shit, or they really, full on. Like, I'd rather watch fucking crazy ass stuff come out that doesn't even look real.
They were scared because they knew it was going to be the death of animation. It was 1998 actually. My sophomore year in high school, they had the job fair, and an animator came who actually worked for Pixar, and he was telling us that it was like, because it was like, all your jobs, whatever you want to be or whatever. So it was in the library. So if you want to be an animator, you would go here at this certain time and listen in. And he was all telling us like, animation is dead. It's all about CG. And he's like, you guys love Toy Story. He's like, I work for Pixar. It's like, everything's going to die. Animation's going to, the future is computer animation. He was just telling us all this stuff. And I was just like, wow. I was like, really? I was like, and I'm thinking like, I love Toy Story, but at that same time, that same year, A Bug's Life came out. And I remember like, I had not seen Bug's Life yet. And I was just like, well, I don't know. I mean, let's see if this movie's even a hit. And this was before we even knew the masterminds of Pixar. And that year, I remember I took classes in Roland. They had like, it was like Disney classes. Like they had like animators from Disney would go there and would teach you and all this stuff. And I started doing that, which I realized I like drawing a single drawing and moving on. I didn't like animation where you draw little, and that was tedious. So,
Shit's crazy.
But what happened was it was sometime like we've talked about it in I think the first episode of Home on the Range. Shortly after that, Disney got rid of their animation department.
Yeah.
They just fired all the animators. Like they got rid of everybody and all the work. Like, the movies that would be on video or the cartoons, they would send it over and they would export it, and they would do all the work over there and then they would ship it back. So it was like Japanese animators were working on Disney because they just found it easier because that's when Disney decided to, let's do CG, and they did Chicken Little. I remember that movie Chicken Little, and it really wasn't that much. It was. I mean, I liked that movie a lot, but it wasn't a big hit for them.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't top any like Pixar's 30, but yeah, Home on the Range was supposed to be like, okay, this is going to be our last animated film. If it does do good, we'll continue to do animation. But relying it as much as they did on Home on the Range, and the movie's really horrible, they're like, all right. I mean, if they were going to end it on a high note with animation, they should at least pick something way better. But Home on the Range flopped.
It was just terrible. I mean, a lot of their last films, like Treasure Planet, like I said, Home on the Range.
Sadly to say, Emperor's New Groove actually fell in that category as the last.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. I love that movie, but it fell under that category of the last animation movies.
Yeah, also, too, one that was a hit for them, though, that it was a monster hit, was Lilo and Stitch. That was one of the last of the... Because that was kind of what gave them hope. Because Lilo and Stitch was a huge hit. But, like I said, they were... Huh?
He was cute.
Oh, I know. I like Lilo. Dude, I swear, when because I could do his voice... And man, like once people knew I could do his voice, constantly everyone was always asking me to do the stupid voice.
Kids all crying. Like,
yeah, like I remember my cousins like once when like they were like constantly hollering, do the voice, and then they would take me to whoever, like my aunt, uncle, do the voice, and I was like, oh my gosh, I would have to keep doing the voice. So I was like, I liked it. I thought it was funny, but. I mean, yeah, like their animation just like it sucked. Brother Bear was another one, even though we're the Brother Bear podcast. That's not where I got the name, but that movie also was a flop.
Yeah,
you know, and
well, stupid. I mean, they were just dumb stories.
Yeah, and they couldn't do anything. And
they tried to make it all Americana or something like that. Like, just make it roots, you know, American roots or something. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. They were awful.
I never seen that one.
Cows talk. I mean, it was just awful. I mean, I watched like 10 minutes of it with my son.
Yeah.
Gotta throw him in there, man, because it's true, though. It's, you know, it's true.
Yeah.
I watch it with my son. I watched 10 minutes of Treasure Planet, and I'm like, you know, I wanted to go get through that one, but his attention span is just as bad as mine.
Yeah. Oh, Atlantis. Before you guys.
Oh, that was my
Atlantis
favorite.
was another one.
That
bombed big time too. Mm-hmm. I liked it.
That's one of my favorites, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Yeah, that one bombed. And I remember when I was first going to start working at Rainforest and California Adventure, I remember they had a big old banner, Atlantis, coming at me and my buddy. We're like, that movie's going to be huge. That looks so awesome. And nope, it failed also.
Well, all the parts that I remember when I watched those Disney movies back then, the thing that I was always looking forward to was like certain angle shots and like certain moments where they used the CGI, like, you know, the Lion King.
Aladdin too.
Aladdin, yeah, that's right. Aladdin, the carpet.
Yeah, the carpet.
Like carpet.
And Beauty
like,
and the Beast was like the
bell,
the dancing,
the ball scene.
The ball scene.
Yeah. That's what caught my interest the most. I mean, if Pixar was like already, you know, it was already picking up on that. Like it was like it's like kind of like the inevitable fall of the animation and shit, you know. Because being a kid and playing video games and all that stuff, I totally wanted to watch that stuff more than. I mean, I take more appreciation now with those animations, even from the 1950s or the 30s and all that. I mean, they look awesome. They're fucking, they're great.
Yeah, seriously.
Even the sound effects and all that stuff, like, you know, that takes a lot of.
What makes you appreciate old animation now, and especially that. Even if you watch cartoons now, if you happen to like watch something, you could tell it's a different texture of the way everything is given now, shown. Mm-hmm. And when you watch these old cartoons, you could tell that it was like hand drawn. You know, take a picture. Here's the next shot. You really can tell those old cartoons literally had that animation, as opposed to everything being, you know, computer animation. I mean, all of them do. They look. I know we talked about Family Guy last week, but all of that.
Well, South Park.
Yeah, even South Park.
It's not even episodes in a week, man.
Yeah, it's not even. South Park went the route of going computers as it was a single shot. Mm-hmm. Even though they still do it like the single shot, but yeah, it's way better. I mean, it's more of. I know it's quicker with time consuming than it was than doing, you know, shot for shot. Then put everything together really quick.
Mm-hmm. That's their intention, though.
No, I know.
Their intention is completely different than from, like, you know, an animator or cartoonist.
I'm just saying about like animation, like how it's all different.
And Toy Story, the original Toy Story coming out in '95. I mean, when I saw that one, the animation was way fucking better than anything that came out. Like A Bug's Life was like the whole image was like pretty soft and not too detailed. And I remember Toy Story being like extremely detailed. Like you would look at the car, you would look at the sky, the trees, and it was all very
detailed.
Like
the wood. Like those ones. I remember
visually stunning is what I meant to say.
Toy Story, like there's certain parts where like you would see there's like the desk or something, and you would see all the crevices and all that. Like I was like, damn, they paid attention to so much detail. Yeah. And like now they could do movies faster with the technology, like the computers. But back when, man, imagine how much it took them just to do like a few frames. 24 frames or 24. It takes 24 frames to create a second. So imagine like how much work it was, so tedious, but I mean, it was worth it. I mean, as technology continued to grow,
as it continues to grow now too, for sure.
Well, but I mean, if you watch Toy Story, I mean, their sky and their everything like that is like kind of. I mean, that was the beginning when they first started. Now you can look how much. Oh yeah, of course you can see how much they improved. But when Toy Story was more of indoor shots, basically. It was all rooms, so it was an easy kind of texture to make a better room, to make this, like that. When Bug's Life came out in 98, that was their first time going to explore into a bigger, grand scale of the ground, like grass, like rocks.
Nature.
Yeah, nature. There we go. It's all to hit nature for the first time. Because now, I mean, later on we talk about that, like Brave, for me, felt real. Like just going into like the woods area, the whole nature wood, and to go back on Bug's Life, and then doing Brave now, the whole nature aspect or anything like that, you see the detail that they do put in more than it was from 98 to, of course, 2012.
I think the thing they really, really were able to fix was people, because that was the reason why they focused on toys and like.
Monster Incorporated,
stuff like that, because they had issues doing people, like to make them seem almost realistic. I mean, it wasn't until The Incredibles that we got to see actual people like moving about and stuff. But even in the first Toy Story, look at Andy. I mean, he looks weird. Sid, like their faces, because they were having trouble animating the faces of a human, but it was so easy to do it. Like that's why they kept it like toys and stuff like that, because it was just like it was just easier.
Well, it still felt animated to me. It still felt like a cartoon. I think that's why they couldn't do any of that stuff, so they made it more
I mean, they
animated.
I believe, too. I mean, I haven't seen Toy Story 1 in a while, but I don't think they show Andy's mom's face in the beginning. It's just like, you hear her, and that's it. And then I think in part 2, when they actually showed the face, or no, if it was even 3... I was like, oh, what the hell? That, it caught me by surprise, because like, oh, that's what she looks like,
Yeah, the one thing about Toy Story, like, I kind of got, like, spoiled, because it was weird, because when I first started seeing the trailers and everything, like, I was all hyped. I took my little brother to go see it in Puente Hills area. We went to the theaters, and then afterwards, they had the game for Genesis there to play. Remember we were playing it? And it was cool because I remember, that doesn't even matter. I was going to say Biodome was playing and a bunch of... I remember it was a packed house because the movie had ended and the whole theater was walked out. I was like, oh wow, the movie's going to be a hit. I don't know if it was a huge hit or not. But anyways, I remember we saw Toy Story, and I mean, I fell in love with it. But I've had this issue ever since. To this day, I am never interested in a Pixar movie in the sense of a trailer. Like, I saw the trailer for Bug's Life when it was first going to come out. Had no interest in it. I'm like, it's not Toy Story. I didn't care. Saw it, loved it. And then the next movie, Toy Story 2. And then Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and so on and so forth. Every time I see a trailer, I'm never interested. WALL-E, nothing. Up, I remember Carlos and his girlfriend Geraldine, they were all like, oh, Up. And I remember they posted on my...
They were all up.
Yeah! Yeah, they were trying to uplift me to go see it. Like, they would post clips on my MySpace. And I'm like, that's not funny.
Goes back to MySpace.
Yeah, this is how old it goes. And I was just like, whatever. And then I went and saw it. And I remember it was me and Allie went to go see it. And I remember, dude, that movie just freaking made me cry, man. But that movie, like the first 10 minutes,
yeah, that's
the most darkest freaking child's film ever. It's so dark and depressing. Like, you know, these two people, they start off, they just treat you to like, okay, we're gonna tell you a story of these two little kids who grow up and have an adventure together. No, that's not the word they're gonna show you. They're gonna tell you that they're gonna make you grow attached to these two kids who fall in love, get married, and spend all this time together, have a plan to travel out to the, where is it? I can't remember, to
Paradise Falls.
Paradise Falls. So they make a promise, cross their heart, saving money, you know, tire blows out, tree falls on their house, like all this stuff that they have to keep breaking it using the money. And then at one point they just, you know, I believe either one, she can't have kids, or she loses a baby. I think it's actually that she loses a child.
No, I always got the impression that she just couldn't have kids. I didn't think they would have went the route of her having a miscarriage. I think that would have been more dark.
I think they did.
Really?
Honestly, I think that's how messed up they are.
I thought she just couldn't have kids. I never thought that she had the miscarriage.
Because it was at that point when he was just
I just didn't want to make myself cry more.
Well, regardless, either she couldn't have kids or she lost the child.
She could have been transgender. Well, if we're throwing stuff out there, I mean, we don't know.
She could have been an alien, you know. I don't know.
She could have been a man.
But regardless of the situation, like, that's when, like, it leads up where they just get old. And at one point, they're old people, and he's dusting away, and he remembers the little jar and the bird, and he sees the picture of her when she was a child, like Ellie, you know. And that's when they say, hey, let's do this. And he goes out and buys tickets to fly out, you know, to where they want to go to Paradise Falls, this and that. And he wants to surprise her on a picnic. As they're walking up the hill, he notices, like, she's kind of, like, struggling to go up. He runs back. Next scene, she's in a hospital.
They're old, right?
Yeah, they're old. She hands him a book. He doesn't even really go through the book. And then the next scene, he's at a funeral sitting there by himself. And I was like, wow, that was like the most heart-wrenching, like, whoa. Like, you just got punched in the face. Like, Disney.
You look at your hands, you're like, I'm gonna fucking die? Fuck this movie.
Fucking just throw popcorn. Anybody else walking out? Because I'm walking out right now. Let's go, everybody, get up.
Seriously, like, I'm like, this movie isn't very uplifting, you know? It was a downer. I was like, oh my gosh. And then the rest of it were like, he's like a bitter old man. He comes across this little Asian fat kid named Russell.
That was the one thing
I didn't know it was Asian, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was Asian at all. That's funny.
That was one thing, like, when the movie came out, when I saw these promos, you meet Carl only, and then you meet Russell, and then of course Doug, the dog. You meet these characters, so when the movie started, it threw you off because you didn't really realize that he had a wife. You get to know the reason why, the setup of why he becomes a bitter old man. I think that, I mean, how I put myself into every movie. At the moment the movie starts, I throw myself into the character. So I feel the movie even 10 times better than just watching it. I put myself in the position of the character's shoes. So to see that Carl in the beginning had a happy life and just had so much emotion, had, you know, all the expressions that he had, it really, I had that connection because I'm like, all right, that relationship connection. The kid and then growing up.
Oh, we're talking about people too. We're not talking about fish or toys.
No. We're just
cars.
No.
And then that's what made it more heart-wrenching because it was actual people.
Yeah, that reality too. This is why it was different from the other ones because of course you can't fly in with the house of balloons.
Yeah, you can't fly.
But it has that reality take of
people die.
Yeah, people die, human emotion than any of the other movies. Because even Incredibles had people, but still, it had that superhero feel. It wasn't real. But this is the first time that Pixar really went to have that real emotional feeling of what as humans feel. So that's why to learn that Carl wasn't always bitter, that he had a good life beforehand, and after losing his wife, is why he became like that, and that really just hit everybody because everybody that was expecting this movie, like, they not once in any trailer do they show his wife.
Yeah, they hid that well.
So when you start that movie, you're like, what the hell? You know? And that's why everyone just, you fall in love with this character because you think this person is going to be with you for the whole movie. But within that first 15, 20 minutes, she's not. So that's why everybody just, like, you couldn't believe it. Because
there's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, that emotion, you know.
Too. I mean, those 10 minutes could have been a half hour for some people.
And then the score.
Oh, yeah, Michael, I can't pronounce his last name.
Michael Gabacci. He's like I think he's French. He did the music for like Lost and stuff like that. But that score, like it's called Ellie's. There's three. There's Married Life. That's the more uplifting. You know, it goes like all that. But then there's Ellie's Badge, and then
Stuff We Did.
Those are the two that are very mellow and somber. And the Stuff We Did, that's the one. I want to, like, I already said in my will, it's requested that at my funeral.
You're talking about you right now?
Yeah.
Or?
At my funeral.
You already got a will, dude?
Yeah, I want this in the will that, like, you know, I have life insurance that you cannot, that, like, you know, right now, like, me and Ellie, like, we have life insurance that if I pass, that she cannot collect this money unless she goes by this instructions. The instructions are that there's gonna be a casket. Tied to the left hand of the casket is gonna be one single balloon. The score to Up is gonna be playing in the background.
Damn, do you want her to bawl her ass off?
I want everybody to cry.
Which kind of
Santos, why?
Which kind of sucks because I never told you guys, but the day I get married, the married life theme is actually the waltz that I'm doing it to, like the dollar waltz.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when you told me, I was like, wait, no. Everyone's gonna be all happy, and then now it's like everyone's gonna only remember that for his funeral.
Yeah, like there's like I want to also have like a reef on there, and then on the reef it's gonna have that quote. Dang it, I'm trying to. Oh, it's gonna say thanks for the adventure. Now go have a new one.
Aww.
And then that's just good because I want everybody to cry.
I'm gonna be laughing my ass off then.
Originally, I had my for years before this whole Up thing. For years, I wanted to have a sad clown at my funeral. That was the one thing, and that was I wanted a sad clown because I wanted my death to be so sad that even a clown cried. But now I like the Up one. You know, it's
the thing is to. I recently went to last month. I saw the PIXAR live thing at the Hollywood Bowl, which was one of the greatest things I've ever seen at the Hollywood Bowl. Way better than when I saw Radiohead at the Bowl. You know.
Was it because you were at the bottom and not way at top?
No, I was still at the top. I was still at the top. It was the cheapest seats to be at the top. So, and when they played, you know, every score from each movie. The only one that had a pig introduction was Up. And just, I wish I would record.
Well, that's like their masterpiece.
No, it is, actually.
Right? I mean, that's as best as it gets when it comes to Pixar.
But the guy that did the introduction, the composer, the conductor, when he did the intro to Up before playing it, I didn't realize it. I mean, I didn't know, but how he started talking about the score. And I love the score. The score is what brought me in even more for the movie. Even the first time I saw it, it was just that score. It's throughout the whole movie, it plays itself over and over and over again. It's the same format. It has that same thing, and it's the waltz that makes it that movie. So the fact that they made a waltz for the beginning, and then they changed the waltz slower and then higher. If you listen through that soundtrack, you'll notice that same dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. It's throughout the whole thing. They just change the format every single time. And the way he put it out was like, it was the waltz is the love throughout the movie. So having that waltz begin it and then end it. But in between, it changes. Because that waltz that started it, that beginning of a childhood, like of a child growing up, and then you just have this the loveness of this couple, and then slowly just fade. But then you bring it back up, and you fade out, and it just does that throughout the whole movie, and then you end it with it again. And that's why at the end of the Ellie's badge, it's that bittersweet of acceptance of now moving on. Because after, everyone that's seen the movie, you now know, like, right at the end, after the whole battle sequence, Carl knows where he's left the house, he's moving on, and he just, now even after the whole stuff we did, when he sees that book, it finally hit him that he should just, she was fine with them to be, she just wanted him to be happy. And then the way that stuff we did ties in for that waltz, it's that same, the format of like dun dun, and it's just really, it impacts you hard. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
It's a good combination.
Yeah, it's just, it really, just hearing the score itself makes the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't even have to watch the movie, and you would tear up if that movie impacts you as much. Like, I remember for a while, I just listened to the score. I was like, oh man,
yeah, it's a good score. I remember Carlos downloaded it, and then I got it in like the little USB drive, and I remember I would listen to it at work, and I would play it, and I was like, man, I love this thing. And I would like picture certain things, like I remember picture like old man, like an old lady, and I was like, damn. But yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's a good score, but damn, it makes it. I think it adds to the darkness to the film. I mean, yeah, it's that one and Toy Story 3. I think are their masterpieces, as they would see it. Honestly, I think Up is their best. But
yeah, I mean, Toy
a lot
Story
of people
3
think
is just like going overboard with the whole tearjerker thing. It's like, hey man, leave that to Up, dude. Don't
yeah, they went dark with that one.
I know a lot of people. I love Toy Story 3. I know a lot of people that say, I always see my friends posting that they're watching Toy Story 3, and they're like, oh, bring the tissue boxes and that. For me, the first 2 times I was like, oh, but now it's just like, okay, because I already know that they're gonna live and this and that. But it's just that Up,
fat bear stupid.
Up will always get me no matter what, and I think for many others, because it's that reality take on emotion, emotional like feelings, which I know the same word, but still, it's just that's why for me, Toy Story, I watch it and it's like, okay, that whole like what was it? The garbage whole scene when they're about to go in,
incinerator.
Yeah, the incinerator. That part was just like, oh god, like you're like, yeah, I know Pixar's not gonna go like, oh, and then the credits roll, But
not like that guy's wife.
Like, oh man, they already did it. Damn it. I guess the aliens will save them. But even some people kind of felt
aliens will save them.
I want to believe.
But even the beginning,
we're referencing Schweddy's shirt. That's why.
Even in the beginning, some people felt like it was sad. I didn't feel. I thought it was like, oh damn, that sucked. There were some. Yeah, the movie felt more like a Toy Story 3 was more adult than a kid. Yeah, it's a kid movie, but the fact that Pixar was smart that everybody that grew up with Toy Story from '95 to now is an adult.
That's funny. I didn't even think of that.
So that's why they're not aiming for a kid audience anymore.
Yeah, they didn't go for kids.
Pixar, yeah, they have a big kid audience, but they're smart that they know half of their fan base are young adults, because everyone that's been following them since '95 to now is all grown up. Like me, I was a kid. I want to say I was 4, 5 within 4, 5, 6, and now 23. So for me, yeah, Toy Story 3 hit me because it was the ending of something that I grew up with since '95. And putting that little bow tie saying, okay, we're done, So, after that, I think that's why it had a big impact for me, because, like, I'm not going to see these characters. But now, yeah, they're doing the shorts. But to end it off on a high note with that, it was just like, oh, it's cool. And, Andy gave away his toys, even though I know Santos hated that. Which there was one part, too.
I gave my toys away.
No. We'll get to But
are you really reliving your moments? Childhood memories?
But, I have issues with that film. I'll get into it right now.
But the thing is, just Toy Story 3. I see it as their masterpiece. Just not really their fully masterpiece. It's because it's just ending the note with making that trilogy the one that started it all. Mm-hmm. But Picks Up is just. I don't think nothing will ever top it. Like my three top movies of Pixar is 1 Up, 2 Ratatouille, and 3 is WALL-E. Because WALL-E for me is Castaway.
Castaway.
Yeah.
Because there's no dialogue. The dialogue comes in when they hit the humans here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you fall in love with a character that doesn't speak a word of English. It's a robot. And then you fall in love with the chemistry of Wally and Eve. And even the same thing, the score on that one, just that futuristic score, and then even the little, I think it's like harp and all that. It's just, it really captures you. And the fact that you just fall in love with these two characters that are not, in reality, if you would even put that in real aspect, they're robots. Mm-hmm. You fall in love with robots. And there's no dialogue unless it comes in here and there. But that's it.
They don't show any emotion. I don't even remember.
I mean, yeah, but even to bring emotion, like emotional feeling for a robot, that shows like it's not just a robot. It has feelings and it learns and this, you know.
Just reminded me of AI.
Davey.
Oh my gosh, dude. AI was... you know what? That's one film that people just either you
hate it
or you hate it. I loved it. I love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's a
that
futuristic...
movie fucking makes me cry, man.
Yeah.
It's a futuristic take of Pinocchio. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Pinocchio.
Yeah. And
Stanley Kubrick's take.
it's like, fuck Ted, dude. It's all about that bear, dude.
Yeah,
that bear
that bear's insane.
That
man.
bear rocks, dude. I mean, when I saw Ted, I was like, the original bear. There you go. The bears back to the bears. Was that bear in AI? What was the bear called again?
Teddy,
yeah. And we had a bear like that. Remember, it looked like Teddy. Remember, we go, hi, Carlos. You know, that's the one thing. I kind of hated the voice, like why he had to sound like that. But the best part was at the end, because earlier in the film, the real kid tells David to, go cut, if you want her to live forever, cut her hair. And he has like scissors and he cuts her hair, and you see the hair just fall to the ground, kind of next to the bear. And they wake up and they see David with scissors. They all freak out, whatever. They think he's like, he's dangerous. Way later in the film, and I remember, like, I wanted to get into this, later on as a topic, but later on, towards the end of the film, when it has like when he's talking to the aliens, where he's the last thing in the world that's alive, and he's not even human. He's a robot, and he's talking to aliens, and he's telling the aliens say that we can bring back people. We figured out how to do that. We just haven't figured out how to make them last past the day. But we need something of their DNA. And I remember that's where the bear pulls out the hair and hands it to him. Oh, I'm getting chills. And I remember the theater went, like that. And I was like, me too. I was like, I had like a rock in my throat. I was like, oh my gosh, the hair. Because you forget. Like, you just lose track of that. Like,
especially how long that movie is, too.
Yeah, like, you just see that scene where the hair falls. You don't think anything more of it.
Oh, man, if I was there, I know I would have ruined that. Like, a minute before, like, oh, he's got the hair!
Well, that was the thing. Like, it never even occurred to me until he pulls it out. And that was when I said I want to talk about topics. Like, I wanted to get into that, where there films that have that, like, awe moment or cheer moment or gas moment, where there's like that moment where you just like the audience is like, as a roar, like applauded, cheer, kind of like if I have to do it because I've been doing it every episode. Let's just say The Dark Knight, when Batman, you see him on the bike, the bike pod, the bat pod, and then he goes to the wall and he rides the wall, but he flips around and everybody roars in the cheer. Wow. And like, yeah. And I love when that's why, like, I'm so about the movie theater experience. That's why I love movie theater still. A lot of people are like, oh, it's so expensive, this and that. But I go because I want to feel that and experience that with the audience. I'm hoping that the film I'm about to watch is going to have that moment that just gets everybody to just, like, cheer. Or, like, as a whole, like, it's like there's one film that I, to this day, like, was my first encounter of that when it was Young Guns. You guys ever seen Young Guns? That old movie of, regulators, like Billy the Kid, and, it has all, like, the stars of the past, like Charlie Sheen's in it, Emilio Estevez, and
Martin Sheen.
and they're like cowboys. And in the end, there's a scene at the end where, well, actually, you know what? We already went into an hour and 5, so I don't actually want to get into it now. But we,
Damn, I just light bulb hit you right there, huh?
I know.
Turned on, I was like, oh, what time is it?
I know. So yeah, actually, you know what? We it looks like we're gonna have to make this to be continued because there's so much that we want to dig into to Pixar. I mean, we just barely touched the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we got a lot into Up, and I don't think we really would bring up. Next time we won't bring it up. And the first Toy Story, but there's still so much.
Real quick, I'm sorry to cut that off, but did you see that short for Up? I wanted to bring it up earlier. The one where they focus on the dog.
Oh yeah, that one I did.
Yeah, that's another reason why I think it's like such a masterpiece of a film is they focused a lot on all these characters and put a lot of effort in it. I think that short just made it
how it tied in.
Yeah. Oh, the tie-in was just so awesome.
Like it was really sweet.
Another moment where it just brings a lot of warmth, a warm emotion.
Just that one. Have you seen the?
You know what? I have not seen that short.
It's a good.
I forgot that even existed. Is that on the Blu-ray?
It should be.
Okay, I need to watch it. I didn't even know.
I want to spoil one of the last line in that thing because you find out that day that Doug meets Carl and Russell that it's his birthday.
Oh, really?
Which, the movie doesn't explain, but the short explains, like, the way the Doug's big mission, they explains how Doug is alone, and then he's not with the other three.
Oh, okay.
So it explains that and other things here and there.
So it leads into the film.
Yeah, it leads into the film.
So it's kind of like a baby prequel in a sense. Oh, that's
it's
cool.
like it's kind of like how Marvel does their side stories with comics. It's you have your main storyline, which kind of like how Secret Invasion had that big storyline, but if you wanted to be like, whenever Deadpool or Spider-Man took off and you want to know what the hell happened.
what they're up to at that moment. While the main story's happening, let's see what's happening.
Yeah, that's what that did.
Oh, alright.
But that main part at the end of that short, when Doug finally meets Russell and Carl and then he likes it, this and that, he says, I'm pretty sure within these lines, I don't remember word for word, but it says, this is my birthday and it's a good day. Yeah. Like, I'm happy with this. Like, he's just saying how much that he's happy because you kind of already know where Doug's coming from.
Yeah.
And to know that side, like the prequel of before meeting them, then now that he met Russell and Carl, that he's happy with them. So just hearing that line that it is my birthday and today is a good day, it was like, oh man, like what a way Pixar to make you cry even more for that. Just that short. I mean, I don't think I cried on that one, but it had a lot of emotion. It was like, oh man.
I actually made my wife cry.
Really?
Yeah, she's a real easy. She's easy to cry. I make her cry a lot. So.
Yeah, well, for sure we're gonna have to next week's episode is just gonna be a continuation. We're gonna go right into it. No new topics. It's just gonna continue because there's so much that it's just hard to try to get everything in within an hour. I mean, we would bring up one little thing and we would just keep talking about it, and it's just so hard. I mean, Pixar, like I said, it's a masterpiece. If you've never tuned into any Pixar film, I mean, I don't know, you must be a moron, but which
I left the story out about one of my old coworkers who hated a couple of movies of Pixar that I'll say for next week, which is I've never wanted to punch someone in the face so much about someone disliking about a Pixar movie.
Put it this way, this is how I judge people when it comes to film, how I can trust them when it comes to film. If you tell me that Ratatouille sucked and Fast and the Furious was awesome, yeah, get away from me. I never want to hear from you again. I cannot trust you when it comes to film and your form of critique of films. I mean, I base it on if you tell me that Fast and the Furious and Jeepers Creepers were great films, yeah, I lost all trust in you. So, but yeah, so for sure we'll be getting into that for next week's episode. Also, we're going to start something new also next week at the end, we're going to be bringing you Song of the Week. So we're going to be introducing you to artists, not mainstream artists. So you're not going to be hearing no Adele or The Strokes or anything like that. You know, we're going to be bringing you stuff that you know, introducing you to songs, because aside from movies, you know, we're bringing you movies, video games, comics, and music. You know, so and television shows. Even, you know, board games, cartoons, we want to bring you every form of aspect. So that's what we will be introducing next week. So we're just going to head on out, and we'll see you guys next week, and we'll continue part 2 of the Pixar story. Oh, wait, no, that's the name of the DVD. I don't want to say that. Okay, it would be part 2 of the Brothers Bear Pixar story. God damn it. Whatever. Pixar movies. Yes. Part 2 of the Pixar movie. I don't know. I'm just, you know what?
Break down the Pixar movie.
You know what? I'm already using their stupid picture. So, you know what? Part 2 of the Pixar story with the Brothers Bear podcast. All I gotta say that this episode is in the bag.
In the bag. Oh, that was awesome.
Doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back on the mic.
Gotta vote.
Everybody up the
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up on the mic.
Gotta vote. Let me in.
That's the rest of weird. Bring it back on the mic.
Gotta vote.
Everybody up the
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up on the mic.
Gotta vote.